pitifully small wages irritated him this evening. He'd been one of their number often enough, but tonight the whole thing seemed a pathetic waste of time. With a sigh, Garrick turned back to the bar, slid a few coins across its shiny surface to Sam, and picked up the bottle. As he pulled out the cork with his teeth and poured the deep amber liquid into a glass, he imagined how aghast his mother would be to see him doing such a thing. The thought of Minnesota brought the usual pang of homesickness, and he lifted the glass to his lips. He gulped down the raw whiskey and grimaced as the fiery brew burned its way to his stomach. It tasted worse than usual and did nothing to relieve his loneliness. "Hello, sweet," a husky feminine voice cut into his thoughts. "Aren't you going to give my dealers a chance to win back some of that money you walked out of here with last night?" Garrick glanced down at the brassy redhead and smiled. "Not tonight, Angel. I have a feeling the cards wouldn't fall my way." Angel snorted. "Well, that'd be a first. Never seen anybody with luck like yours." She gave him an appraising look. "What's eating you, anyway? That scowl would curdle milk." "Bored, I guess. Care for a drink?" Angel glanced at the bottle in front of him and made a face. "No, thanks. Rot-gut whiskey ain't my idea of a good time. Don't remember it being yours, either." "Not usually. But we ran short of black powder, so I don't have to work tomorrow." "You planning on getting drunk?" "I thought about it. But if you won't join me," she laughed and patted his arm. "If it's company you want, I may have just the ticket. A new girl came in on the stage today. Calls herself Colette, though she ain't any more French than Sam." Angel nodded toward a sultry, dark-haired beauty at the end of the bar. "Be glad to introduce you." Garrick let his gaze roam over the curvaceous brunette, wondering how he'd managed to miss her before. Almost as if she felt him looking at her, Colette glanced up, wet her lips, and smiled seductively. "Well, what do you think, Swede? Want to see if she can wipe that frown off your face?" He shrugged. "Might as well. Maybe Colette was what he needed." "Hello," he said when she sidled up to him. "Hello yourself." Colette ran her hand up his arm. "I just love big men." "Well, I'll let you two get to know each other," Angel said as she walked away. "Take good care of Swede, Colette. He's one of my best customers." "Don't you worry, Miss Angel. I'll take excellent care of this one." Colette let her fingers wander down the massive chest. "Tell me, Swede, are you big all over?" He let a slow smile cross his face. "Only one way to find out." 3/4 of an hour later, Garrick buttoned his coat against the chill outside and collected his bottle of whiskey. Colette had been all he could wish for, yet if anything he felt worse than he had before. He went outside and took a deep breath of the crisp mountain air. There was a tang of spring on the breeze tonight that reminded him of home. Garrick turned his steps toward the creek. Maybe a walk would clear his head and chase away the blue devils that plagued him. From the corner of his eye he caught a movement far up the bank. Peering through the darkness, he saw a shadowy figure walk toward the edge of the creek, apparently contemplating the rushing water as he was. Whoever it was, he hoped their thoughts were more pleasant than his. As he watched, Garrick was startled to see the strangers stop on the very edge of the bank. Didn't they realize how dangerous the creek was this time of year? Garrick was beginning to wonder if he should call out a warning when, to his utter horror, the other person went down and was swallowed up by the flood. Shock held him immobilized for a blink of an eye. Then he was shrugging out of his coat and pulling off his boots. Desperately he scanned the stream, searching the dark waters for some sign of the stranger. At last he spotted a flash of white upstream. Quickly judging where the current would carry its burden, he stepped into the frigid water. Garrick's breath seemed to catch in his lungs as the icy wetness struck his legs. It took all of his strength to withstand the force of the water, as it sucked and pulled at him like a living thing. Searching frantically for another glimmer of white, Garrick wished his eyes could pierce the blackness of the water, but he could see nothing as he battled his way to the middle of the stream. All at once something hit him, and he went down. Some instinct made him reach out, and his hands encountered the unexpected texture of cloth. As he grabbed the body inside the clothing, he let himself be taken downstream until he had a firm hold. By the time his head broke the surface the third time, he had the person locked against his body with one arm. Pulling great draughts of air into his tortured lungs,